Hello, welcome to another edition of Film Friday. This is edition number 9 on March 19th, 2021. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a like if you want to see more of these. So first we'll cover off studio productions around town, which include American Dreamer, that feature film with Peter Dinklage and Shirley MacLaine, Netflix's Maid series, and A Baker's Son, which is being filmed by Front Street Pictures, are all actively filming around town and around the region. Here, A Baker's Son, which was doing some filming in Chemainus, made the local newspapers and social media. And according to regional production lists, it looks like we may be getting another couple of movies of the week under the title of Wedding Veil Wishes. We'll provide more information as it becomes available. Currently in pre-production is the Netflix drama Rescued by Ruby, starring Grant Gustin, known for his roles as Barry Allen on the CW series The Flash and as Sebastian Smythe on the Fox series Glee. And today we are fortunate to talk with the producer of Rescued by Ruby, Jane Charles, who you will meet momentarily. And in the indie world, a number of productions are ramping up and some have hit the festival circuit, including Barry Jesse Smith's sci-fi short, Pirate. And a small town thriller called Misplaced Trust is ramping up in preparation for a shoot happening next month, and they have a crew call out. Just search on Facebook for the film's title or follow the link that we will be providing you. We are planning on talking to members of this team in one of our upcoming editions. And Cinevic is partnering with the Vancouver Short Film Festival to present their first On the Road online event series. It's called Racism and Cultural Appropriation in the Arts. It's a screening, workshop, and panel event with Simone Blaise. The documentary screening and discussion happens on March 24th, and the filmmaker panel happens the next evening, March 25th. For further details and to register, the link will be provided. And Telefilm Canada has postponed the launch of their popular Talent to Watch program, but are expecting its return in the fall. So stay tuned with Cinevic for more news on this. And don't forget to join in on Cinevic's Yappy Hour, which happens March 31st and is always an interesting gathering of local filmmakers, and you can find out who's up to what's going on, and get all the local scoops. So don't forget to register. The link is provided. And now I'd like you all to meet the amazing Jane Charles. And today I would like to welcome to Film Friday, Jane Charles. Welcome, Jane.
Thank you for having me.
Now, Jane, you are, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you're from this region, are you not?
I lived in Vancouver for 22 years.
Okay,
I was actually born in upstate New York.
okay.
My grandparents were Canadian and were born in Ontario, but I moved out to California early on and I married a Canadian
Oh,
and moved to Canada in 1985.
so where do you call home now?
I have a house on Whidbey Island and an apartment in Victoria.
Great,
Yeah.
wonderful. Okay, so you're very familiar with what's happening here in Victoria then.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
I've been here for a while now.
Now, I wanted to talk to you about a few things today, and I know you're really busy, so I'll try and keep the pieces short, but I wanted to talk to you about a combination of your projects, the ones, recent ones that you've done and ones you've got coming up. And I also wanted to talk a bit about your career path because I found it really inspiring, and I think you can probably give some hope to some people who entered at the same place you did. So you up for that?
I'm totally up for that. Yeah.
Great. Okay, now if my information is accurate, then it looks like you got your start as a PA in and around the mid-late 80s.
That's right.
And for people who aren't familiar, PA is production assistant, and you can be doing almost anything. You're doing a lot of running around on film sets if you're a production assistant, correct?
Yes, I mean, you can be parking people's cars, showing people how to go to craft service and catering. You can be bringing coffee, or you can be helping any department do anything, like hang things or,
Yeah.
just
So
about
it's
anything.
and
Yeah.
And it's considered an entry-level position. Is that accurate?
It is, it's a great learning position. I mean, back when I got into the Directors Guild, I think it had started as 90 days. You know, you had to have 90 days on set, on any set, within 2 years, I think was the parameter.
Right.
And just before I became a PA, they increased it to 120 days. So it took me almost 2 years to get those 120 days on different sets. And I worked on 21 Jump Street, the original 21 Jump Street with Johnny Depp, and then Booker, and oh gosh, did days on Wise Guy and Airwolf and lots of different shows. And then a show called Neon Rider, a Canadian show I was on for the whole first season.
Wasn't that
Um,
Hasselhoff? Was that David Hasselhoff, or who
no,
was
that was actually Canadian. That was, and I did do some, no, you mean David Hasselhoff in it? No, that was Winston Record was the lead. Do you
Oh,
remember
okay.
Winston Record?
Okay, I don't
Yeah.
remember. No.
Yeah, and so I did that for a while, but yeah, I think it's really important for people that are starting in the industry to learn everything. And you really do, when you're a production assistant, you get to see all of the different departments, unless of course you're stationed out in a parking lot, 2 miles away, which can happen when you first start.
Right.
Yeah,
But I think that's also a time for individuals to kind of show what they're made of, time to show your stuff and be responsive and pleasant and all those things and get things done. So, and you were able to take that PA position, and by the next decade, I think midway through the 90s, was it you started to take on smaller productions some producer and executive producer roles, correct?
correct. Yeah, and
Now, that must have felt like a big step.
producing and directing, people don't just hand you those positions. You really have to make them for yourself, and you have to decide you want to learn more. Even when I was a PA, and then I was, in locations, I was an AD for a while. I always wanted to learn, what is that light? What's going on over there? How to break down a script, how to do, I wanted to learn everything. So I was able to learn, all of that as a PA on set. And then I also worked as an assistant to producers in an office, so was able to learn the post-production part of the business, and actually got to edit and write some scripts, which was great experience as well. So there was one point where I was, doing PA work and doing second unit and close to the camera. I was also writing for entertainment magazine and working for Rogers Cable, doing interviews on camera and behind the scene interviews on film, because I just wanted to learn everything.
Wow, it sounds like you just really got in there.
Yeah, it was busy, and it was also, I find people in Canada, we're so nice. Everyone is so truly wants to connect and do a good job and wants to help people. And it's sometimes it seems hard to get into the business because everyone's so busy.
Mhm.
But it's really about people wanting to have you around. If you get a chance to be a PA on set, be the most helpful and the most happy to be there
Right.
PA ever. I think that there's a perception that being in film is about, being a director and being cool, or being, this or being that. It's really about people collaborating and working together well.
There's so many elements of film that have to come together for a successful project that I couldn't agree more that that ability to kind of look at all those moving parts and start to understand how they work. And I love that you sounded very kind of hungry for information on a film set. And having started in background, I was always that one that was lurking around and watching the cameras and watching the directors and watching everybody, because I just found the process fascinating. And I was able to, over several years, learn a little bit more about some of those elements of it. But so I think that's a good starting point for somebody who arrives on set as a PA, is to observe everything. This is a chance for you to learn all of those details without actually having to go to film school. You can learn it right there
Absolutely.
on set.
I'm just remembering, I was actually background on the first stakeout
Oh, wow.
in
Wow.
Vancouver. Yeah. So many
That's where
years
I
ago.
kind of got started too with background was
Mm.
in Vancouver. But anyway, so and now your career has brought you into some really fabulous pieces of work that you're either executive producing or producing. So you are really one of the stories that I think we need to hold up and show people that if you want to break into film and you have big ambitions, it's possible. You can do it. I mean, I have no doubt you did a lot of hard work along the way, but it is possible. So, a lot of people, I shouldn't say a lot of people, periodically I hear the PA role kind of not given the credence it probably should have. And I like to try and encourage people by pointing out people like you who managed to get their start there. And look at you now.
I think it's the best place to start, whether you are a PA on set or a PA in the office, anywhere that you can observe and learn all the different,
Mhm.
positions, all the equipment, how to order everything. I mean, when you produce, you really have to know what everyone does, and you need to get a really good sense of what's needed, but also the personalities. Film is it's about putting everything together and putting all the pieces of the puzzle together, overseeing all the money, either raising the money or overseeing someone else's money and making sure it's spent wisely and you don't go over budget. But it's also so much about people.
Mhm.
It's about understanding different people, understanding how people communicate, not judging. I think the best thing that people can do on a film set is not to judge people. So know everyone's doing their best and give them that credit, and get to know everyone for who they are and see what they need to do the best job that they can do. And that's what I try to do, is just support people in doing the best job that they can do, because we work with so many great artists. There's so many amazing artists here.
Yeah.
And being on Vancouver Island has been such a treat for me after working in Vancouver for 22 years,
Mhm.
to be in a place where everyone wants to be here. It takes 10 or 15 minutes to get anywhere. And there's so many very experienced film people that have moved here because this is where they want to be.
Right.
So I'm enjoying getting to know all the artists that are here and bringing families together to create good projects.
Yeah. Well, and that's, I don't want to take you too far adrift here. I could talk to you for hours. I can just tell, but the notion of family, and you mentioned that in your recent Facebook post as well, was about how working on these film sets, eh, you are creating yourself another family. They're the people you are going to see more than your own family for at least the period of production. And here on Vancouver Island, where the crew tends to roll over from production to production, they really truly are family.
They are, and they have lives outside of film. And I like to get to know the whole person and not just what they do. I remember when I first started, there's so many people, it's hard to remember everyone's names. And it would be like, Cindy Hare, or,
Yeah.
you know, uh, Carmela script supervisor, or whatever it is. You'd remember people by what they did. And now I really try to get to know people for who they are, and also appreciate people for what they bring, because I really think gratitude is everything. That when
Yes.
you're in a position where people are working really hard, they will work even harder and want to be there if you're grateful for what they're doing, and truly grateful. Honestly, if someone isn't doing a good job, you're not going to tell them they are.
Right.
But as far as just being aware, like seeing what's happening, being aware of what everyone's doing, understanding if it's a long night in the rain and we're out there for a long time, we're all going through this together, making sure people are well fed, making sure that people, whatever it is that they need to feel good about what they're doing, that they have it.
Yeah. That their role is appreciated regardless of how small or how large it might be. They're necessary and part of that production. Yeah, I
Right.
agree.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to some of your projects. So, the one I'd like to touch on first is the VC Andrews, the series that is hitting Lifetime channel this Saturday, and I'm going to put up some links and some images to show folks what that's all about. So the VC Andrews series, can you give us a little synopsis about what people can expect if they tune into that series?
Yeah, it's the Ruby Landry series based on the VC Andrews books.
Okay.
And so many people are now saying, I remember that, from when I was a teenager, I read all those books. And, the books themselves are really good. And VC Andrews is known for being a little spicy, a little controversial. And this is a family drama about a family in New Orleans where twins are separated early on
Yeah.
and then come back together. So the whole series is about these twins and all the ups and downs that they go through the whole thing. So Victoria became New Orleans for this, and we have some beautiful mansions,
Yes.
and that became the mansions that we worked in, and they were very, happy to work with us, and just beautiful, beautiful locations
Yeah.
all over. And we were able to use some of the parks and add a little bit of moss to the trees, to make it look like New Orleans. But it worked really well. And these are so fun. I mean, they're based in the 50s and 60s. There's one that's based in the 80s. The 80s style wise was never my favorite era, but we had so much fun with it. The hair, the shoulder pads, the whole
I
thing.
remember it well.
But the style of the 50s and 60s, I mean, the hair that we were able to play with, the costumes. Ken Shapkin was our costume designer and
It's amazing.
He's amazing, did such a fantastic job. And all the artists that worked on this really enjoyed it because the stories are so good, characters are so amazing, and cast. Our two leads are real twins that came in from Australia, the Bano sisters, and they are both, big, they're going to be big stars. I mean, they're just really, they worked hard, they did a great job, and it was so fun to see them working together and playing sisters. But we had Mary Lou Henner,
Yeah.
we had Naomi Judd, we had a lot of really great local talent, but also a lot of people that came in, stars that came in to be in the show. So it's over 4 nights. I believe it's this Saturday, Sunday, and next
And the
Saturday,
following
Sunday.
In production now, VC Andrews, Ruby. From the network that brought you Flowers in the Attic
Who is this man? He's your father.
and the Heaven series
Why did you let this person in here?
She's clearly your twin sister.
I don't accept this.
comes the next VC Andrews movie series event. Ruby,
You're troubled.
We are sisters.
That doesn't make us friends.
I just want her to stop hurting me.
We have had nothing but misery around here since you showed up. You animals!
Lifetime is the only place for VC Andrews movies.
If things turn out the way you want, you deserve the things. And if they don't, you deserve the blame.
VC Andrews, Ruby, coming 2021. Only on Lifetime.
On Lifetime, and I haven't figured out yet how to watch it in Canada, so I'm hoping we can
Well,
figure that out.
if I'm not mistaken, I think I had looked it up and it was on our channel guide. But maybe I will double check that before this goes out. I will find out how it can be viewed and make sure I put links in so that people,
Oh, great. Yeah, people are asking, and I just haven't been able to figure it out yet.
well, we'll take a look at it now. You have another one coming up that's in pre-production about Ruby, the hero dog. Is that correct? What is the
Yes,
actual
it's
title?
called Rescued by Ruby.
Rescued by Ruby. Yes,
It's a
Rescued by
Netflix partner feature, independent feature.
Mhm.
And we're in early pre-production. Our office opens next week, and the crew will be starting, but we're bringing a lot of our family back and working with some new people that we're working on Made, the
Right.
Netflix show Made. And just, I think we have a really great crew. I'm so excited to be on set with everyone eventually. But we've got about 2 months of prep before we start shooting.
So about 2 months, and that is going to star Grant Gustin, if I'm not mistaken.
Grant Gustin from The Flash.
Flash, and he also was on, what else did I notice him on? Was there another CW? I think there was.
Oh,
series. And anyway, for those who are interested, you can look him up on IMDb and see what his history is. But I think local people will probably recognize him most from The Flash. So
Yeah.
great.
And other casts are starting to come together. I can't announce them yet, but it's great cast. And of course, a lot of Vancouver actors will be a part of it too. And two amazing dogs, because Ruby is in almost every scene. So we have Ruby and a dog double. But the real Ruby is from Rhode Island
Right.
and is still alive. I think she's 9 now. But this story really hit the news in 2018, but it's a true story based on a true story. So you can actually find it online. There are some great videos of Ruby, the hero dog. And there was a Humane Society video that is really, I cry every time I watch it. It's just a sweet, sweet story.
Now, without giving too much away, because I did research, I think last week when I had mentioned that this production may be coming to town, the story, and I get what you're saying about it's such an emotional story, such a good news story. But can you tell us just a little bit, again, without giving anything away, about what the Ruby story is all about?
Yeah, Ruby was an unadoptable rescue dog. So she was in a shelter and she was set to be euthanized soon because she had gone to 5 or 6 families and had been returned every time because she was so high energy, tore things up, escaped, all kinds of things. And then Daniel, who is a police officer, state trooper, wanted to be part of the canine group, of search and rescue. And they couldn't afford another, German, I guess the German Shepherds for canine are very expensive.
Right.
And so someone said to him, well, it doesn't have to be a German Shepherd. You can, it can be a different type of dog as long as they're really curious and high energy. And so he went looking for a German Shepherd or German Shepherd cross at the pound, found Ruby, fell in love with her, brought her home and started training her. And she's become a really great, police dog. So I won't give away all the
Yeah, I was
the
going to
story,
say,
but yeah.
yeah, okay, because yeah, the story is so compelling, and it just I can't wait to see you actually get this one onto the screen for all of us to watch, because it's going to be a wonderful, heartwarming story.
Yeah, me too. I still cry every time I read the script.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine.
Yeah.
Well, Jane, I don't want to keep you any longer. I'm so appreciative of the time you've given us today. And I think between your career path and your upcoming projects, I hope everybody got to know Jane a little bit better today. And we may even be seeing you around town.
Absolutely. I'm here. I live here
Great.
now.
Oh, great. Wonderful. Okay. Well, we'll keep in touch with you and follow as you move through this production. And we may even be able to grab a couple of images as you move through your filming stages. So thank you, Jane. Very gracious of you to spend some time with us. So
Thank you, Darlene. Yeah. Looking forward to it. Take care.
And that's it for Film Friday. So for those of you off to search for Lifetime's Ruby Landry series, it is not airing in Canada quite yet. Unless you happen to have a workaround, you will have to wait. I've reached out to the network to find out when it might be expected, and I will let you know. Again, like us, subscribe, and we will be back to you next week. Thank you for watching.